So you may remember me making a video how Eagle Tudor might save us. Well, as you can see, that didn't age well. With him getting mutually leaving, I guess, he basically left us in more disaster than we were in the first place. Which is hard to say considering the fact that Thomas Frank did an absolutely terrible job. Now that we've hired Roberto De Zerbi, which I'm not much in agreement, and the fact that at the time of recording this we lost to Sunderland 1-0, making us in the relegation zone with West Ham with 2 points above us, we are in trouble. A bigger trouble than we were before, back in February when I made that video. Which is also very hard to say, considering the fact that we are terrible now. Well, not now, because we were always terrible, but that's besides the point. Now, with the subsequent fact that we are in that relegation zone, I have seen so many edits, I've seen so many people celebrating our downfall and us going into the relegation zone. I just want to go over why that happened, why is that happening, why is everyone hating us? Pretty much just clearing things up, because even I'm kind of confused. I thought we were all against Arsenal, I guess not. So, without any ado, let's get into this now. Be sure, if you like this video, to like and subscribe for more. I try to get more regular uploads, but with all that out of the way, let's get into it. Now, like I said at the time of recording this, we are in the relegation zone, 18th place, and above us are West Ham, 2 points above us, I think, off the top of my head. And we are already now in trouble because we face relegation and we only have 6 games to turn this around. And also we've now hired Roberto De Zerbi without countless injuries. It is becoming bleak. We don't know what to do. Genuinely, I cannot iterate enough how tired I am with this club. We don't have any guile, no attention. It's just sad, and we just get bantered left and right by all our rivals. Every club in the Premier League wanting us to go down. But why is that the price? I'm just going to split this into probably 2 sections, and let's get into this. With the first one being the Europa League win. Now, we all remember nearly a year ago, Tottenham won the Europa League as Manchester United 1-0 in the Estadio. I can't remember his name, but it was in Bilbao, I remember that. And we won it. And that was a good time for us fans. That was probably one of, if not my happiest time as a football fan. Us winning a trophy for the first time in 17 years. Now, obviously, with the comment of that, it has led to our subsequent downfall. Now, every Spurs fan was lapping this up. We had Champions League football despite us finishing 17th in the league. That's the lowest someone has won the Europa League and qualified for Champions League ever and won the Europa League. So, realistically, that was just insane to us. And that probably just gave us a big head, really. With that, we tried to grab some attention. Obviously, Champions League team, they got Champions League football. Why not? These players that we've pulled in might as well join us. So after that, back I think in July, before the traditional transfer window started, we signed Kudus for around 60 million pounds. I'm not entirely sure, and he was a great addition. Obviously, we need that wing, like that someone on the wing to at least get us some goals, really attack forward, and that was a really good signing. And we can see that in the first game with us Burnley, 2 assists. He was phenomenal that first game. I remember that very, very clearly. Back when we actually had a chance of, staying up. And then we signed João Paulinho on loan and yeah, obviously him as a signing is a bit on and off. He scored some wonderful goals. He's provided really good moments for us. Yeah, obviously maybe he could stay, I'm not entirely sure, but I don't know if it was sadly a good signing or a bad signing. He's a bit in the middle on the fence. Then we went ahead and Xavi Simons. Now, I gotta say, the first games, he was awful. He genuinely, he was so weak, he couldn't, adapt to that play. But soon he adapted, soon he took the game to the scruff of his neck, and he started, getting goals, getting assists. And he's a really good attacking player, which we severely lack in our squad, considering the fact that we have a bunch of injuries. Then we go into head on deadline day and sign Randall Colomwani on loan for, well, no money obviously because it's a loan. Now, honestly, I don't think he's been good enough. I don't think he tries hard enough. And I thought with Tudor, he could probably utilise him, make him score more goals. But obviously, that has now come into tuition with only one goal in the Premier League so far. Like 4 goals in the Champions League, and we're knocked out of that now. So that's just amazing. Now, obviously, those signings now, in hindsight, aren't the best. But you could imagine in August the amount of praise we were getting from other fans, really, which is kind of ironic because now they're saying that all our players are just terrible. And our fans ourselves absolutely hyping us up with the fact that we probably would get Champions League football, which then it looks pretty probable. Like if you look at the signings we spent like at least over £100 on really decent signings at the time. But with that comes a subsequent bottle over there, as you can see. Do not set that up on purpose, by the way. It's just there. But obviously we kind of capitulated after that. And obviously our ego kind of paid us back after a while. All the fans going at us. We lost against Arsenal, we lost against Chelsea, we lost against God knows who else because we lose against everyone now. And we did win against West Ham in the first half of the season, so I wasn't too worried we would go down that time. We were playing terribly. We were at that time we were 15th. I'm not entirely sure we were that in danger of going down. But as the season went on, we then lost to West Ham. So no more bragging rights for us. We were terrible. No two ends about that. And really just just kind of put us on downward spiral, if you know what I mean. We were just so terrible. I literally could not be asked to watch any Tottenham games. I still watched them obviously, but that was just ridiculous. I think the West Ham game I didn't watch because I was out with my friends, but obviously, yeah, getting a lot of stick from my mate, obviously. He was a Chelsea fan, which was amazing. But that was not great for us, and as our image, we were getting heavily, really clowned on, considering the fact that we won the Europa League, we got really good signings, well, decent signings at least, and we could get Champions League football, and our egos through the roof. We thought we could get anything really. At the start of the season, we wanted to go Burnley. People were saying we were going invincible. That didn't happen, obviously, because we're now stuck at the bottom end of the table in the relegation zone, doing absolutely nothing to try and get us out of the situation. Now, there's a lot of people to blame for that, obviously. There's obviously the players, there's obviously really the management can be a bit iffy at times. Thomas Frank was a terrible signing. I did say at the start of the season, people saying at the start of the season that Thomas Frank would be a really exciting appointment after the back of Ange Postecoglou, who's finished as 17th. Obviously, yeah, winning us a trophy, but realistically, that's basically it. But yeah, that was pretty much it. That was pretty much an annoying time to live because Thomas Frank had the most boring piece of football imaginable. Play it too safe. Honestly, I just could not with him. He was I was running, my patience was running thin. I like to keep people also in the channel, obviously, but that was probably the turning point when the game against Newcastle. I just could not with him anymore. He was terrible. And Igor Tudor came in. I thought, hey, maybe we could win some games. I was wrong again. Well, we only won one game with him, and that was in the Champions League where we still probably lost because it was an aggregate scoreline. So that was amazing. So, yeah, honestly, we have loads of things to blame here. We can blame the injuries as well all we want. Realistically, it's down to the players, really down to the fans too. Really toxic behaviour in the fan base, obviously. And I've seen around TikTok the amount of times we've beaten down the players, beating down the management, beating down everyone that is associated with the club. It's just bad for us, honestly. It's bad. And I thought we could push through it. I was wrong, subsequently. Now let's move on to section 2 of why I think everyone just bloody hates us. Because, not just because of the ego, it's because of the online banter. Now, I'm not sure if most of you have TikTok. I'm not entirely sure. But I do. It was just kind of bad because, whatever. I don't know. But back in August, we have our two biggest Spurs content creators on TikTok, pretty big names football TikTok, Seb on Spurs and Ben Bowman. Now, I really like them two. I really like their insight about the Spurs games. I really like how, like, the Spurs fans, I really like them. They seem really nice chaps. But when we got those signings, they really went overboard on what they were saying. And by overboard, I mean overboard. They were saying, like, I think one time they were saying, like, Romero is world class. Obviously, they didn't wage well. I think one time they were saying probably get Champions League, which, to be fair, in retrospect, isn't that bad because we were doing pretty well at that time. But it just went downhill from there. Honestly, like, it was ridiculous. I think they were just saying really, they wasn't crazy takes, but I think there was just kind of debatable takes that they really felt strongly on. And it just didn't stop. It really didn't stop. And I just ate that up because I thought, like, yeah, we're really good now. No, we're not. It's just like you just look at that back now, and it's just so stupid. Like, it's a gold mine, their channels or the TikTok pages, because like you just go back and see how confident they were that like, they could win something. It was ridiculous, honestly. Now, which brings me on to our point where they literally started like talking badly about other clubs. Now, like specifically Aston Villa. Now, you need to keep this in mind right now. I'll come back to this later. Now, as you can see, I don't think any other like clubs or like fans of those clubs would really appreciate the fact that they're going to get like speaking downly on, especially if it's true or not. Which for some of them were true. Obviously, Wolves, yeah, they were not very great. They had like, I'm not entirely sure. They only had like 1 point in like, I want to say 10 games. I'm not entirely sure though, off the top of my head. So yeah, obviously some were true, some were not. People saying that some will get relegated, some won't. Like everyone thought Brentford would. They were saying that about Brentford. I think they probably think will get down. Obviously losing Thomas Frank, Brandon Wemo, Jan Wissa. It was probably a complete mirror for Brentford, but they stepped it up, which is really good. However, and going back to the Villa one, they started underestimating Aston Villa, which wasn't the best idea. Basically, they were saying since they didn't score any goals in 5 Premier League matches, which, to be fair, I'm not going to blame too much on, considering the fact that, like, at the time, it would think, like, Aston Villa are in, like, trouble, deep trouble. But that sparked a bit of drama, you know, because the Villa fans started going on them a lot, and now I'm at war constantly with Villa fans, basically going up on him. And then this is particular Villa fan BM Talksable. Now, obviously, I'm not sure if you heard of him or not, but basically, yeah, he just had a vendetta against Spurs ever since, against Ben Bowman, against several Spurs. Yeah, I think he got like blocked by several Ben at one time. I'm not entirely sure. That's what he says anyway. That's what he states. But yeah, he just had a grudge against Spurs ever since. I'm not sure if he had anyone before that. I'm not sure. Like, it's up for debate. Really, I guess. So, like, yeah, but he just started going off on them. Like, he started laughing every time Villa beat Spurs. Honestly, yeah, that was just not a great time to be. Every time, just hating on Ben and Seb. To be fair, I can't blame them, because it was just ridiculous what they were saying. Yeah, saying Villa, yeah, in like. But to be fair, he says they're going overboard. Something it's preying on Spurs' downfall because like 2 fans, really generalizing the entire fan base. Because 2 fans said that Villa might not do well in the Premier League, which 2 fans at the time wasn't like that bad of a take. Like, to be honest, like, and then he just started like absolutely going off still. It was getting to a point. It was just getting annoying because like he was just not going. He was just not starting talking about Spurs relegation, all that. But to be fair, who wouldn't? And also his page, he has 2 pages when he talks about Villa and one he talks about general football. So, yeah. But realistically, it's just really big, like, people in the fan base that make content about Spurs that really drive other fans to make fun of us, considering the fact that they are big, like, they are people that really talk about Spurs often. and it makes sense that they would go off on them more because they have more of an influence around other play people, and they're not influences on other people's opinions, etc., etc. Now, is it just because Spurs are just an unlikable club? Maybe. I mean, you never know. It can be on anything really about Spurs. I get with like Arsenal fans, Chelsea fans, maybe West Ham. Well, to be fair, West Ham fans, yes, they would hate on our, they would prey on our downfall subsequently. But with every other fan, I've seen, yeah, obviously Villa fans, I've seen Bournemouth fans, I've seen God knows how many other fans that will want us down. Some don't, which I respect them for, really. That's a breath of fresh air, really, because everyone wants us down for some reason. Don't generally, it's amazing. But I can't complain, can I? Because obviously, with big influencers influencing us and saying all this stuff, obviously this is like biting me back, as I was saying. That Tudor mate, save us. Now he's gone. We have Roberto Zerbi, and he lost his first match already. Like, it's just bad. So that's the club. But we've got to move past it. If we get relegated, we get relegated. That's bad because we will lose on signings. We will lose out on money, a lot of money. And that just sets us up for disaster, you know, because it's just bad. Anyways, I think that'll be it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If any rival fans come here and like, I don't blame you. Go ahead, honestly. I don't care anymore. Like, I've used to it by now. Everyone will hate us about this, but hey ho. What we get. But, yeah. Hopefully, this video gives us some insight why everyone hates us. If you're a Spurs fan and, like, if you're hating Spurs and wanting them to go down, with justification in the comments. Like, I can care less more at this point. But anyway, that was sum up for today's video. If you enjoyed, please like, subscribe, do the notification bell just so you get, if I ever upload, that is, notifications on when I upload. Anyway, that will do it. Change scenery, I know. I'm trying to, because my upstairs is quite busy, but hey ho. Also, the new look, yeah, new scarf. I know I can find the other scarf, so with this one. And it's falling off right now. That's amazing. But enough yapping. Goodbye.